that's why then Carl moved to Sacramento.
What year? What year did he get married to Annalisa?
In 51, probably.
And they met in Frankfurt?
Oh yeah, they knew each other from before the war.
Yeah. Wow. And then what made Hilda and Omiella decide?
That was in 1954 Berlin crisis.
And what was that?
The Russians shut down. They shut down all access to Berlin.
Oh, is that when they did the candy bomber?
No, I think that was in 49.
Okay.
But it was similar to that.
Yeah. And so what did he say today on the phone?
Pardon?
What did Carl say on the phone?
He just said he remembered coming home on the train in 49, couldn't wait to see me for the first time.
Did he get to write letters when he was a prisoner of war?
He wrote a few letters got through, but I don't know if any of the letters going back the other way ever got through.
Yeah. What part of Russia was he in?
He was in Estonia.
Oh, really? Wow.
And then your dad also.
My dad was prisoner of war in France.
And how long was he there for?
I think 6 weeks or something like that.
Wow.
Not very long.
And how did they treat him?
Pardon?
How did they treat him?
Reasonable. He wasn't really a combat soldier. He was a he was he was an office guy. He was like a clerk, and and they treated the non-combatants differently than they did the infantrymen, than the guys who were shooting.
How did they capture him? Do you know?
When
the war ended?
Just before, yeah.
And it's just, if you were over there, they took you?
When his unit was overrun by the advancing Allied forces.
In what part of France?
I don't remember.
And how was he?
It probably wasn't even France. It was probably already in either Belgium or Germany. Mm-hmm. But where they had the POW camp was in France.
Mm. And what year was that?
45, and he got out in 45. So he wasn't there very long.
And did he have any sicknesses or anything when he came home? I mean, obviously you were too young to know, but no. Were those experiences ever talked about when you were growing up?
No. War experiences were off the table.
Yeah. What about growing up and knowing, like, well, we have our house and it's still standing, but the neighbor's house is gone? Like, as a young child, was it explained, well, we had a war, or, that house burned?
Yeah, everybody knew that, yeah. But I mean, in terms of...
how did you feel?
Soldiers' experiences, that was off the table. That wasn't talked about.
Yeah.
Maybe amongst themselves it was, but not to kids.
Yeah.
Nothing you talk to kids about.
Yeah. Wow. When did your dad first come over to visit in America?
His first visit over was in 58, I think.
What did he think?
Pardon?
What did he think?
He wasn't particularly impressed.
Where did he work in Frankfurt?
Yeah.
What did he do?
He was an insurance claims guy. So he worked for Allianz Insurance.
In that big white building downtown Frankfurt with the steps.
Yeah.
Yeah. He took me there.
Just outside the old city wall.
Mm-hmm.
By the old bombed out opera house.
Yeah. Why'd they bomb the opera house?
Well, theoretically it was an accident, but but they really chose targets to cultural targets as much as strategic war targets, because that would demoralize the civilian population.
Mm-hmm.
To see all of that stuff go down.
Yeah. When do you remember a lot of rebuilding taking place?
So the real huge rebuilding didn't really get underway until after we left in '55.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was rebuilding, but none of it none of these big buildings,
Yeah.
you know, and none of that was underway when we left.
Where did all those people live that were displaced? The ones whose houses did burn before they rebuilt those big apartments.
I mean, housing they built. I'm talking about the big,
Like Hauptwache?
Yeah, I mean how the stores were rebuilt.
Yeah.
By the time we were there, they were probably by '53, as I recall, maybe even '52.
Yeah.
The stores as Hauptwache were there, like Kaufhof.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
Kaufhof is that old?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
It's probably been remodeled several times.
Oh, yeah.
Since, but the location of the stores dates back to them.
Wow.
But the
Holy cow.
the street that goes from there to the bridge, Eisener Steg.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's completely built up now.
Yeah.
There were lots and lots and lots of gaps in buildings still when we left in '55.
Yeah.
And
Was
that
it-
just from bombing?
Yeah, that's all.
Was it
bombed out.
rubble? Or had the rubble been
In some cases, the rubble had been cleared, but in most cases, the rubble was still there.
Yeah. As a boy, did you want to play in the rubble?
Not really.
No. It
I
wasn't.
mean, I walked by bombed out buildings on my way to school every day.
Yeah.
So,
It didn't look like a fun tower to climb up.
not particularly. No.
I could see Brennan wanting to climb big piles of cement building.
And that old bomb shelter, you know, that was housing for people. People lived in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Now that's
And
a
it
fancy.
stunk like high heaven when you walked by.
And now it's a fancy apartment building. Remember when we went back in
Yeah,
2012?
yeah.
But then when Tam was born in 2007, it was still there. So sometime between 2007 and 2012, they tore it down and built that really fancy apartment building. What was church like? Because you didn't have an actual church building.
We did.
You did?
Yeah, but it was probably done in. So I was the first one baptized there.
Really?
Yeah. And so I was baptized in 50. When would it have been? 52. So that's when when it was built.
Is that the same building that's still there?
No, that
No.
building is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And was that a ward or was it a branch?
Branch.
Yeah. Wow, the first one baptized there. That's pretty awesome. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say the baptismal font was in the kitchen, underneath the kitchen floor.
Oh, really?
So they would lift up the floorboards, and then there it was.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And I think the reason it was like that was because of the plumbing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so there was water and drainage there.
Wow.
Is that the building over by the zoo?
Pardon?
You took me to one church building,
Yeah,
like an area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the one by the zoo was a school
Oh, and that's
where we used to go to. Before we went to that school, before the building was done.
okay. So you used to meet, like you rented part of the school on Sundays.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
How far away from home was that? Because how did you get there? Streetcar?
Walked.
You walked the whole way?
Yeah.
From Schwabing?
From Sachsenhausen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Sachsenhausen. Yeah, from Schwabing?
It's. I mean, it seemed like a really long ways, but it's really not all that far.
Yeah.
It was probably less than 2 miles.
Did they have Strassenbahns? Were they working?
They were sort of working. It wasn't as developed as it is now, but yeah, you could have taken a Straßenbahn that went out there down to Hauptwache, and maybe even over to Sachsenhausen, to Schweizerplatz, which would have been the stop where we. But I don't think we took it very often. We didn't even always take the streetcar to the new building, which was further out than the school was.
Yeah.
Over by the zoo. We frequently walked there.
What about riding your bicycle? Did you ride your bike a lot?
I was pretty young, but I rode my bike over to the church building a number of times. I can remember doing that,
Yeah.
but it wasn't the way we normally went to church. I can cry on demand.
Oh, Brennan.